Hello, folks, and welcome back to Homestuck Squared. Rice Milk, welcome, and welcome anyone viewing anonymously. Can't click because you're on mobile. Dang, I gotta provide that link in another way then. Actually, you know what? I'll just start by talking about the poll then. And I'll send that link in chat right now. So, starting it off with stream news. Last Wednesday, we finished off, no problem. We finished off Secret Little Haven. So, that means it's time to pick a new bonus stream game. On the poll right now is Butterfly Soup and Her Tears Were My Light. They are both visual novels. They are both very gay. And that's pretty much all I know about either of them, other than any other information that might be listed on the itch.io page. I also know they both were ones that were suggested at one point or another. But yes, those are the two choices. And right now, if you take a peep at the results page, they are tied 2 votes each. So, we shall see how the results will end up. That's stream news. There's also, hey Aleph! There's also some more stream channel related stuff. Playing Sonic Forces. Nice. Channel points. So on Wednesday, I introduced 2 new channel point rewards. Being, let me just double check which ones I introduced when. I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Right, so change the stream title was one of them. Which, self-explanatory, change the stream title. It just has the character limit because Twitch has a character limit. And also, please keep it appropriate. And the same goes for make me say something. Keep it short, keep it appropriate. I will say the thing that you send. But the 2 that are brand spanking new, one of them, okay, so the first one that I am introducing brand new on the channel today is to request a break song or video. That is a limit of 1 purchase per stream, just so that we don't end up with too many things and we don't have enough time in the break to play them all, or, that sort of thing, so that everybody can get their turn and we get to actually play the thing and not have break last for 30 minutes. But that's, again, kind of self-explanatory. You can request a song. Please keep in mind that this is still... It would still be at my discretion whether or not I feel that it is appropriate, or, being mindful of copyright material as well, because if they think you're playing too much copyright material, they can shut down your account without telling you, so I have to be a little bit careful of that. Now, the other channel points reward that is brand new is a very special one. And it is expensive for a reason. It is called, if you take a look, you will see a reward called End Stream. The description is just that I will stop immediately. And that's it. That's the reward. You just get to... it is purchased, and I just stop, and that's just it. We're done. For that day. But hi Brian. You're patient enough to save up for that. Yeah, I made it cost 100,000 points because I know that folks build points up pretty quickly around here, so I don't know. I might take it down a little bit. I might make it a little more attainable. I did some random calculations using the estimates provided by Twitch as to how much the average person makes in terms of, like, the amount of channel points within an hour and stuff like that. But, Yeah, so that's there now. I may or may not decide to turn it on or off for certain streams, because for example, the ones that go up on YouTube, I might want to keep things streamlined and like keep filming the single kind of video at once. So I'm not going to state when I have it on and off. I'll just kind of do that as I see fit, but it is there and it will be available. And those are the 2 channel points things that I've added. And those are, in total, the 4 new channel points purchases that can be made. I have a few other ideas that I'm toying with. Some of them require some extra forethought. So I might toy with those kind of in the background. Oh, I just realized 2 of these have the same color. That's not going to work. What color do I not have for reward yet? I don't have... Oh, there's like 3 of them with the same... You know what? I can play with the fucking colors later. I'll just leave that tab open so I can look at that after. So that is specifically channel news. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what the myriad of very creative ways I'm sure that you will all come up with to utilize the new point options. Not on a Homestuck note, but on a note related to last weekend during the Homestuck reread streams, we started talking about Deadly Premonition and how there's going to be a second one, and we were like looking down the creators like Twitter and being like, looks like that's kind of probably fallen behind. Well, they put out a trailer and a release date, so I guess we were wrong. And that's I'm not gonna play it because I know that was kind of that was mostly a side conversation I was having with Max, but since we talked about it, I just thought it would be fitting to do a little check-in and update since it was relevant during the previous stream. And that's pretty much all that's happening on this. And the other update I have is that, again, this was Wednesday's stream. I was pointed in the direction of the Half-Life thing that everybody was referencing in the chat, and in the Discord. And I have it's not showing here because I watched it on my actual personal account. This is my chamomileGothic account. But I watched the whole thing. I did watch all of it. And I can now say I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you for recommending it to me. And I recommend other people to watch it as well. Hey Max. You just missed. I was just briefly touching upon the fact that we have a Deadly Premonitions 2 trailer. And release date. Just going back to that because we were talking about it last weekend. Started following the guy on Twitch after watching the Half-Life thing. Yeah, I'm interested. After stream today, I think I'm gonna find they did. Unfortunately, it was this past Thursday. So I was not able to catch it live, but they still have the VOD up on the Twitch channel for, they're calling it like cast commentary, behind the scenes Q&A and more, because I want to know how the fuck they did that. It's so fucking cool. Yes, he's also online at the moment. Hey there, Zach, we've got a release date announced. That trailer's fucking weird. Max, have you seen the trailer? I figured I wouldn't show it because it's not entirely relevant to most of the people here, but I could talk to you about it. Not yet. Ooh, let me resend that link. You gotta watch it on this link, not from any of the Nintendo channels, because the Nintendo channels have a shorter version that's edited to cut out the part where there's women in underwear. Which, I mean, both times that this happens, it's completely out of context. It has nothing to do with anything else that's happened or continues to happen or is going on screen at all. But, like, I wouldn't expect any less from a fucking Deadly Premonitions trailer than random woman in underwear. So, if you have the hankering to check that out, there's the link. But, yes, I want to know how they did that. Because I love it when streamers do that kind of, like, organized, like, there's that little extra care where they've got the thing. Like, I love also what Rev is doing with the Town of Nowhere, and, like, I'm so, yeah, it would be really amazing to do something like that on here one day, but first I need to figure out and, learn how such a thing is even executed. Oh, Brian, that's not fun. Oh, dear. Well, I mean, at least you killed it. So now it's not there anymore. Yeah, they appear sometimes. Oh, no. Oh, you know what we're getting in my house right now? We're getting a shitload of fucking ants. Now, this happens for whatever reason. This is something that happens in my house every spring. It's like when they start coming out of hibernation, they start invading my fucking house. And it kind of peters off throughout the summer, but right now, man, it is they spawn in your house. That's like it. That is exactly how it feels, because they just show up out of fucking nowhere. Then the number of times that I've just, like, looked down and there's been one just, like, on my fucking leg, or, like, I feel a little, like, itch on, and I look down and it's a fucking ant. Like, you had to sprinkle fire ant killer in your yard the other day, did wonders. Fire ants. Oh, geez. I'm really glad we are not getting fire ants. They're just regular ants who crawl all over the place and are very annoying and should not be inside of our house. But it's very religiously. See, we're still trying to figure out how they're getting in. So at the moment, there's not a heck of a lot we can do. We have, like, a couple of places that we're, like, suspect that they're getting in from, but until we really pinpoint it, yeah, we gotta. Redeem change stream title. Moths. You have moths in your apartment. Ooh, yeah, no, those can be annoying as well. My experience with moths being in buildings is limited to, like, camp. Okay, change the stream title. Oh, wait a second, let me copy and paste first. Yes, the stream title is being changed to Zach and Francis's Totally Tubular Homestuck Squared Adventure. So, let's see. I can. Yeah, if possible, I will keep the original stream title kind of at the end. So, Zach and Francis's Totally Tubular Homestuck Squared Adventure. Okay. And done. So the stream title has been successfully updated to Zach and Francis's Totally Tubular Homestuck Squared Adventure. So, Jesus, now that we're talking, I got talking about the ants now, I'm getting twitchy. They show up at my desk, like, It's not an uncommon occurrence. Okay, so all the rest of the posts are updatey things. So I'm just going to have a sip of water and we can get started reading. Okay, as a review, previous update, we had Harry Anderson, Tavros, Vrissy, and Vriska inside of Harry Anderson's house, hiding out there from various reporters and media personnel, trying to get at them, as well as the fucking police. From there, we went to Karkat and Mina, who we did not get to see in full. We only got little clips, discussing general things about the war and the murder of one Gamzee Makara. And from there we went to these two. Oh, I love them so much. Rose and Kanaya. So Rose and Kanaya are panicking at the fact that Vrissy is not answering her fucking phone. When Jade comes in, is very upset, says they took Yiffy, and we are left here because there seems to be a little bit of confusion as to who Yiffy is. We get to find that out later in this update. Let's start reading. And we get Jade and Rose explain everything. And we don't get to see that. Okay. While Jade and Rose are busy relieving that moment of intolerable anguish and suspense, let's check back in with the kids for a moment. Planning their escape is going about as well as you might expect. And look at this happy bunch. Update, you have completely given up on completing Sonic Forces. Psych, yes. Yes, another brilliant psych out. And we check back in with the kids. That's valid, Aleph. Yeah. All I know about Sonic Forces is that you get to make your own Sonic OC. Whoever designed the silver moons for the second Shadow stages... Wow. Wouldn't go quite with that language, but yeah. I sympathize with the frustration at video games. We appear to be, in no uncertain terms, completely surrounded. I don't wish to come across as pessimistic, but it's hard to see what possibilities we have for a plan of escape. There has to be something we can do. My dad is counting on us to get out of here and meet up with him. Oh yes, John. John also appeared. Forgot about that part. Well, I'm also not wishing to be rude, but... It's okay, Tabby. I don't give a shit about being rude. Harry, your dad's plan fucking sucks. Jane has lines in the... Jane? In this one? I don't think Jane has lines in this update. Jane had lines earlier in this chapter, but I don't think in this specific update. Well, no, she might have a couple in the upcoming prosy part, but not too many. Were you hoping to use the ooze specifically for Jane, or would you like... Yeah. Okay, I can't tell if that was... Sometimes there's a lag. I don't know if that was in response to what I was saying or not. But yeah, okay. I will Save that for if Jane isn't in it, then give it to Jade. You got it. It's okay, Tabby. I don't give a shit about being rude. Harry, your dad's plan fucking sucks. There's no easy way out of this. It was simple enough for him to tell us to escape, but we're the ones who have to actually do it. And that advice he gave you? That's all a load of meaningless bullshit. Don't get caught. Yeah, no shit. You know, because furry. Yeah. Okay, wow. Versii, I know this is a stressful predicament, but I think that's going too far. My dad believes in us, and if he thinks there's something we can do, then there has to be a way. It's the only possibility. Okay, how about this for an alternative explanation? Your dad is giddy and high on the thrill of something interesting happening in his life for once. I don't believe this. I've been waiting for my dad to start talking to me again for what feels like forever. You know that. And you couldn't just be happy for me this one time? Oh my God, Harry Anderson. I know you spent so much time crying into your date night popcorn about this, but please give it a break. Just listen to me for once. This isn't about your hang-ups with your dad, okay? We're in the middle of a war. A war that, in some part, is his fault. And instead of taking responsibility and acting like a grown-up, he decided to rope us all into this insane game he thinks he's playing. So those are some pretty hefty accusations there from Versii. Break song. Faster version of Pixel Beer. Okay, cool. I see. Okay, that is open and ready to play when we get to break. And where am I? Oh, yes. Some pretty hefty accusations. Versii, I don't think that's fair. Uncle John isn't to blame for this. Yeah, no shit, Tab. This whole situation is because of your insane Hitler mom. Okay, now, that was uncalled for. Yeah, Harry, not cool. Oh, what? So you're just gonna pretend that his mom isn't a literal dictator? He doesn't need you to stick up for him, Versii. He's fucking loaded. Harry, all of our families are obscenely wealthy. We're standing in your mom's boutique living room. You can't exactly play a privilege card here. And Tavros, you don't have to defend Mr. Egbert just because you feel weird about him trying to kidnap you that one time. If anything, you should be on my side here. John's clearly got a track record of doing anything for a moment of excitement without thinking of the consequences. And look what happened. Remember what he did on Harry Anderson's birthday that one time? Oh, yeah. So hello. Welcome, Vernon. They're talking epilogues here. They're talking about the events of the candy epilogue. Tavros, he could have killed you. Why else do you think you're such a wimpy, traumatized baby? Ouch. Yeah, Versii's like... Yeah, Vriska disliked that. Hi, Igor. Yes, Jade is in this chapter a little bit later on. Yeah. Versii isn't exactly acting the best right now. Yeah, Versii is not coping very well with the present situational duress. I told you that in strictest confidence. Tavros, he could have killed you. Oh, right, we're down here. Okay, that isn't the reason for that, and I feel like your implied concern for my childhood well-being is less sincere than it is an attempt to weaponize something difficult for me in order that you can win an argument with Harry Anderson. Will you all just shut up? You got confused with this chapter a lot. Yeah, it's the Vriska Vrissy, like, the same colors and flashbacks to past Karkat, future Karkat conversations. I feel like I'm going fucking insane. Is it Weepy Wiggler Tantrum Hour, or are the three of you always this pathetic? Nobody answer that. It was bulge-achingly rhetorical. Just keep quiet for a moment while I insult you some more. Vrissy, you're cool and all, but I'm getting tired of this teen nonsense. Vriska, you're the same fucking age as them. Well, no, she might be a year older, right? But, like, you're fucking 16, okay? You don't get to yell at them about teen nonsense. John's advice totally blows, but at least he understands what needs to be done. Don't insult my friends. Only I get to do that. Tavros, stop being such a wimp. You know, I was really hoping I would never have to hear Vriska pick on any version of any Tavros ever again, but fuck me, I guess. Isn't even a sweep older. I know, exactly. You didn't like Vriska, and now there's two. Yeah, Arania Vriska combos hit the same way. Technically, she's 20 to 30 years older, chronologically speaking. I mean, well, because the thing is, she did the thing where she went and did the fight with Lord English, and then fell through the hole. So, and then landed in Candy, and now we're here, approximately. So, her story and her age has really, since the end of Homestuck, only advanced, like, like a couple hours or something. So, like, she's definitely still roughly the same age as them. I think she told Mina that she was 75 sweeps when replacing the dead Vriska. Yeah, her part in the epilogue picks up right after Act 7, so, like... Oh, 7.5. Sorry, I missed the decimal on my tiny text on my phone screen. But yeah, there are 7.5 sweeps. That's approximately 16 human years, I think. Because 6 is 13. What's the conversion rate again? It's like, I think it's like almost 3 human years per sweep, but not quite. Her parting Candy obviously takes place a little bit later, yeah. Because 612. But, right, yeah. Full disclosure, if I'd had the power at that time, I would have renamed the first Homestuck Square team to Joy to the World. The clown is dead. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm intrigued and excited to see the variety of creative stream titles that people could come up with. Yeah, one sweep is 2.6 human years. Yeah, so 7.5. Well, I guess I don't remember her stating a specific number of sweeps, but I know, you know, if she did say somewhere in the comics 7.5, then that's still not that much older than. That's still a human teen, and she still can't tell them to knock off their teen nonsense when she's also basically the same age. Glad you'll never see you again. Cross my heart and hope to die. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, Olive. Don't know how you feel. Mixed feelings. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not 100% in love with everything either, but, like, I wasn't 100% in love with everything in the original Homestuck either. Like, there's still a few things that I'm kind of like, wow, I really wish that wasn't there, or they didn't do that. But, you know, that's such is the nature of literature. And I mean, this is a story in its infancy, really. We're on page 207 right now. Like, y'all remember what was happening on page 207 of Homestuck? John was still fucking around with his Sylladex. So, like, you know, it's I am intrigued to see where it is being taken. You prefer Homestuck too, because you don't have to read like 50 slurs. That is one of the parts that I wish was not in Homestuck proper, and that I am very glad is not in Homestuck Squared. Yeah, although I guess on the subject of language, it's the line between like, oh, this is just the language that the authors are using, or this is character specific language, is kind of fuzzy. But like, you know, the use of characters and narrative being like, wow, this is so insane, or like calling things lame, like the history of lame as like a part of Abel's language is not very well known. I think I've talked about it before, but I think it's been pretty long time since I've brought up the actual etymology of that. But, you know, that's one thing that I wish that they would not do in Homestuck Squared, because they have on a few occasions. Still in the tutorial, once the game starts, things will get familiar again. Yeah, pretty much. That's functional analogy. You're excited to see too? Yeah. I was retitled the finale of Dream Daddy to Real a Daydreamin' or something like that. Some kind of James Buffett pun. Yeah, the finale of Dream Daddy was a fucking trip. It stretches probability that Jade Harley would use slurs. Yeah, no, I don't think that it's really in the heart of Jade to do that. But anyways, that's thoughts on where things are going. I know it's gonna be probably a discussion heavy one, because I know that this was kind of a discourse explosion week, so we'll get into that when we get to it. Whew. In the meantime, Vriska is screaming. Vriska is yelling at these fellow youths. Raised by an old gentleman adventurer wouldn't rule the possibility out. Oh, fuck. What else new? God, yeah. Okay, where did I lose track? Right here. Right, I was talking about how I was hoping I would never hear Vriska call an iteration of a Tavros a wimp ever again, but here we are. Jade Harley has used more slurs than you know exist. Jesus. Oh, Jake Harley. Y'all, I can't fucking read today. That's a great thing to have when I'm supposed to be reading things out loud. I think it's just my phone screen, though. I gotta, like, move it away from glare so that I can actually read it. There we go. Okay. Feel weird, strange, because when we didn't know that the guardians and parents, and now we do, so seeing things fall apart is weird. Every Jakeism is actually just him saying something he thinks is a... Oh, jeez. Yeah, Jake is... I appreciate Jake's very creative lexicon. Okay. Getting on track. Tavros, stop being such a wimp. Nobody has time for this pansy clownery. Do you remember what happened to the last clown I had to deal with? Yeah, I thought so. Just fucking threatened to murder him. Love it. And Harry, listen. Neither you nor your friends have anything really important going on. Your lives and your planet are a total bore, but John loves you anyway. Try and be fucking grateful for that every once in a while. Not everyone is so lucky. Anyway, forget his advice. John wasn't counting on you to get us out of this. He was counting on me. So from now on, everyone just follow my lead and do what I say. And if that doesn't sound like a good enough deal to you, then just stay out of my way. It's the circle of abuse and claims it all. Yeah, Vriska is... Yeah, not a fan of how she's talking to these teens, but it's also not out of character for her. Yeah, not everyone is so lucky. Of course, referring to Spider Mom. But yeah, she's basically just like, I'm taking over here, and I'm All right, I'm glad you can at least recognize when a grown-up is talking. Vriska, you're barely older than them. Shut up. Harry, go to your room. What? No? You're not my mom. Vriska is the most in character on this timeline. We've got John with finger guns. I've been meaning to switch out that primary icon with something with a little more pizzazz, but I was thinking maybe Hello Jeff Pogface, but we'll see if I get to making that in Photoshop. Oh boy. I gotta get to making video thumbnails in Photoshop. I've had a video sitting uploaded to YouTube for like 3 fucking days now, and I need to post it. Still can't wait to see that one. Yeah, I know. I gotta get on my creative projects. I gotta stop playing so much fucking Animal Crossing. Yeah, I gotta set a goal to actually do things this evening. Only like canon one not currently dissipating out of the timeline, to be fair. Yeah, it's kind of implied that she still possesses that particular factor, that she's not beginning to dissipate with the timeline yet. So yeah, that does play a part of it as well. There we are. Lost track of where I was. And nobody is more grateful for that fact than me. You need to arm yourself, stupid. None of you even have a way to fight. Oh. Here, take this. What is it? It's your stupid face is what it is. Just kidding. It's a spare strife specibus. You want to prove you can make it on Alternia? Take this and go grab a weapon. Meet us back here in a minute. Oh, what? A minute? God. The fucking... I love typing quirk jokes. Alright, I'm going. Familiar lingo return really took you back. Yeah, right back to early Homestuck. Gotta go pick out his stray specimens. And we have chum handles for Harry and Rissy. Thespian's glamour began pestering adamant griftress. You like that Earthsea still has stupid bullshit game mechanics? Yeah, it has to. It's stupid bullshit game mechanics are a Homestuck staple. Alright, I'm back in my room. There's just one small problem. I don't think I own any weapons. There's the prop swords in my closet, but they're all made of foam and plastic. This is so hard. Hey, dumbass, why are you messaging me from your bedroom? We are literally in the same house. We were just in the same argument. Yes, I know. Sorry about that. The argument, I mean. It's whatever. I didn't mean to get so mad at you and Tavros. Well, maybe I did mean to get mad at Tavros, but I still feel bad about it. Everything's just been so stressful today. Harry, I said it's whatever. Let me translate that. I know when I'm really stressed out too, shut up. Max. That was 5, right? Yeah. Okay, 5. Okay, but I need your help here. I only have a minute, and I can't think of anything to assign to the strife specibus. Can you ask Whiska if she has any ideas? Noblewoman's laugh. No, I'm not going to bother her with such a pointless question. And besides, I think she's busy right now. She's sort of huddled in a corner, muttering to herself. Huh. Maybe she is nervous? Either that, or... I don't think she's nervous, but it reminds me of how you get sometimes when you're practicing your lines over and over. Preparing a speech, perhaps? Huh. Okay. Weird. Time's ticking, Harry. Fuck, I'm still all out of ideas. Ugh, come on. There was bound to be something up there. Anything can be a weapon if you know how to use it. That's easy for you to say, on account of all the actual weapons you have in your room. Look, Harry, just because I happen to own a lot of incredibly deadly armaments doesn't mean I couldn't improvise if necessary. It's part of what makes me badass enough to be a member of the rebellion. Blah, blah, blah. Makes you badass enough to be a member of the rebellion. You are a member of the rebellion by virtue of the fact that your mothers are at the head of it. I'm pretty sure they otherwise would not be too happy with putting a youth in any kind of line of fire. Anyway, you've got a bunch of sewing stuff in your room, right? Yeah, feel free to skip the part where you make fun of me for it. No, dong face, I wasn't going to. Oh, then I don't understand. You need a weapon, remember? Oh! I roll ×8. And there's one. Ubu. But yeah, this is kind of like raising an eyebrow, like, I'm sorry, I thought this was supposed to be the red relationship, not the black one. Harry, examine sewing table. Okay, there was a bunch of sharp things here. Pity you want one of them. Whoa. Oh, ha. So, what are we working with? It's mostly just pins and needles. I doubt they'll be much good. Are you kidding? Needles are awesome. That's what my mom uses. They're what my mom uses. She could probably skin you alive with a pair if she wanted. Well, I don't doubt that, but maybe not this type of needle. Come on, you know you want to. No, that would be so dumb. These things are way too small. I'd be like the world's worst acupuncturist or something. I think I'll just go with this pair of scissors instead. Boo. Here we acquire scissors. And I'm going to say that in combination with the text from the previous page is 2. You capture your trusty pair of sewing scissors. You've brought many a colorful character to life with these babies. You're pretty sure you could bring just as many to death with them as well. And this is a brand new asset, which has a whole bunch of new strife specify on it. So let's see if I can read all of these. Like that he chooses one that no character has had so far. Yeah, I appreciate that as well, that they're going with new stuff. Always a good sign for your canon OCs. Okay, let's see. Some of these were on the first one, but this is a new asset altogether. Let's see. Gun kind, rapier kind, fist kind, hammer kind, dice kind, claw kind, fist kind, rolling pin kind. KNKLDSTR. What the fuck would that be? Knuckle duster. Thank you, Brad. knuckle duster kind, needle kind, scythe kind, wazo gun kind, pistol kind, candlestick kind, rope kind, shuriken kind, baseball bat kind, golf club kind, power duo kind, staff kind, folk kind, salt shaker kind, ice pick kind, axe kind, spear kind, aerosol kind, knife kind, spoon kind, the fuck does that say? Oh, bowling ball kind, dagger kind, chisel kind, bowling pin kind, cricket bat kind, I think, lacrosse stick kind, shot put kind, shoe kind, pin kind, trident kind, hatchet kind, rope kind, wire kind, dumbbell kind, sizzle kind. That one is curling iron kind. That was talked about in the notes, the commentary, which I think they accidentally sent out to everyone again because I'm not in that tier, but I still got the email. Like brass knuckles, yeah. Angel, you too, welcome. Imagine doing a fencing type style with jabbing and sniping your opponent. Yeah, like fencing sword. That would be really cool. Paper kind, anvil kind, bow kind, mace kind, cane kind, nunchuck kind, nail gun kind, nail quipper kind. HRSTRTN. Thinking like Raphael's flamboyant fencing from Soul Calibur, except with Kill scissors. Yeah. Neat. Don't forget prawn mankind. Yeah. We're getting there. Yes, the annoying dog. The annoying dog is on this list as well. If anyone's got ideas for that one, I'm a little bit lost. HRSTRTN. Chainsaw kind, feathered, FTHRDSTR. Lacrosse stick kind? Oh, lacrosse stick kind is on there twice. Bottle kind, foot kind, machete kind, wazo kind, pipe kind, specific kind of doll, HNTD doll kind. Haunted doll kind, got it. Haunted doll kind, wench kind, wench kind, walking stick kind, club kind, spade kind, annoying dog kind, bomb kind, cheese knife kind, pone mag kind, ironing board kind, bassoon kind, hockey stick kind, lawnmower kind, hoe kind, bolus kind, dog kind, book kind, watering can kind, FLMTHRW, flamethrower kind, peppermill kind, coffee kind, Wado kind, walk kind, and wench kind. Whew. Feather duster kind. Thank you. So is this a list of all the things people in game have used as weapons? Not necessarily, because this one, I mean, there's a different Strife Specialist card in Homestuck proper that lists a whole bunch of other ones that are not on here, and this one lists things that are not on the other one. So it's not exhaustive, but these are all things that absolutely can be used as weapons. Hi, Macus! Welcome! Want to see some cannon watering can kind action? Fuck yeah! You know, I bet it'd be neat if Kanaya had that on a spare Specibus card with her gardening hobby. No Scepterkind, so doubt it. Yeah, there's a couple on here that, like, characters in the comic have used before that are not on this list. But yes, we are going with Scissorkind. Harry, select Scissorkind. Playing of Yakuza? Interesting. Probably produced by companies. Interesting. Yeah, so there's different generations of cards released from time to time with different ones. And yeah, there's definitely way more options available. Okay. I'm gonna say that's 3 Uwus. Hoping you'll get some Kill la Kill reference. Maybe. You can use anything as a weapon in the Yakuza games, even hot sauce. I mean, off the top of my head, I can think of a few pretty good weaponized uses for hot sauce. And motorcycles, fuck yeah. Okay, there we go. I knew all along that you had it in you. So I guess this means I've allocated the Swipe Specibus with the Scissorkind of Stratus? Using this weird vocab stuff feels like, well, weird. I'm not sure why, but it seems as though everything that's about to happen is that much more important now. Oh, maybe it already was, but I just didn't understand just how important until this moment. Sometimes maybe all you need to bring a feeling home to you is some nonsense-sounding words that possibly don't mean anything. This is what we learn in theater. Yes, and of course this, you know, we're getting... Okay, I'll finish this page before I get the call back. Sounds fake as shit to me. Well, yeah. I think it's just a sense, but I have a feeling it's going to be... Ugh, never mind. Lost my train of thought. The feeling it's going to be a long day. Yes, I love the parallels they drew here between Act 1, John, and Harry Anderson. The allocating his very first Strife Specibus. And having the feeling that, oh god, what are we in for here? Hot sauce, boiling tea, ashtrays, kebabs. Anderson is Genocide Jack. That is a reference that I do not quite grab. Having a John moment. Oh, yes. Everyone, congregate. Okay, so there is one more uwu left. I think I'll probably finish that uwu and finish this scene, and then we'll take 5. Okay, I think I'm as wetty as I'm ever going to be, which really isn't saying very much. How about you guys? Well, in simple terms, we are fucked. We still don't have a way out, and more reporters are showing up every second. And the moment we step outside, we're targets for the Quackle cops. We must evade them at all costs. They are, with some certainty, under orders to capture Wissy, and also me. And I'm not sure whose punishment is likely to be worse. How are you holding up, Tavlos? Me? I'm quite well, Harry Anderson. Thank you for asking. Okay. However, I must admit, the thought of our impending pursuit and potential capture makes my blood run cold. Danganronpa? Okay. Yeah, I still gotta get around to that. Loving the uwus. Thanks, Marcus. We're just finished. We had a few uwu redemptions, so just finishing off those point rewards. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more nervous I feel. I've had stage fright before, but this is ridiculous. Look, Tavros, in case we don't make it out of this, I just wanted to say that I'm so All right, are we done here? Fuck you, Vriska. Fuck. I was about to say something. I can't establish to sound like Jason Funderburger from Over the Garden Wall. Oh my god, is he... Oh, it's been so long since I've seen Over the Garden Wall. Is he the one with a very nasally voice? I know what character he is. I just can't remember his voice specifically. I'm gonna have to look that up. Anyway, very nasally, nervous voice. Ugh, Jason Funderburger. Yeah, always breaking. Right. Dang, I should watch it again sometime. You know what? No, I gotta stop saying I'm gonna watch things because I have things that I've never watched before that I should really watch first before I start watching or start rewatching things. I'm almost finished with a book right now, and I think after the book, I'm gonna start watching Adventure Time. Because that is a thing that I need to do. Forget it. I've been stuck in this womb for what feels like a month, and I'm at my fucking limit. I'm out of here. But you can't just... Vriska, we're trapped. How are we supposed to leave? You guys are free to do whatever you want, but I'm just going to use the front door. Excuse me? Wait, bitches. Okay, that is all 5 uwus. Thank you, Max. Ghost in the Shell, 1995, yeah. Did I watch Infinity Train? I did not, but I've heard it's very, very good. It's definitely on the watch list, but the watch list is very long. I mean, so is Ghost in the Shell, like the original Ghost in the Shell animation. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is still free on YouTube. Now that one, I'm deeply sorry to say, is not on my watch list. Okay. So, Vriska has decided to just use the front door and go talk to the reporters out front. Let's see how well that goes. Cute pink scissors. I know. I love this. This is a good panel. Oh my god. There she goes. Vriska, wait! I'm coming too! Oh, fucking Christ. Oh boy. Yeah, we'll finish this scene off and then we'll take 5. Out here, the Leroy moment! Oh my god. Now that is a meme I have not seen in a long fucking time. But you're so right. Oh my gosh, she just ran out. Oh yeah, photos taken seconds before disaster. Oh god. Join live from a neighborhood in the Carpathian Kingdom where the perpetrators have finally decided to show their faces, are alleged to have killed the beloved salvational figure Gamzee Makara. May his boots jingle forever in paradise. Ah. She's got a 33.3 repeating scores % chance of winning. This is awful. Denounced by government sources as a band of violent rebellion extremists, children of creators, themselves rebellion leaders, outfits could at best be described as only moderately fashionable. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Hey, excuse me? Miss Terrorist? Can you care to give a statement? No, don't. Thought you'd never ask, buddy. You want a statement? Got one right here. I'm gonna have some fucking water before I read this one. Okay. Hey! Hi, humans. What's up? Get all your fucking news grubs turned up to the max because I'm only going to say this once. Do you want to know who I am? My name is Vriska Circuit, and I am the creator this world never knew it had. I left my home behind and put a stop to the demon who burned 2 universes for fuel, also that this planet could come into existence. Without me, none of you would even be here. Capiche? Now, you may have heard people saying a lot of things about us. They want you to believe that we are violent terrorists who want to destroy your religion and your very way of life on this planet you call home. So I just wanted to take a moment to clarify the situation. You fucking bet we are! I have done and seen things that would make every single one of you piss yourselves dead, so I've seen enough to know that this planet is a fucking disgrace. It's a joke, and not even a very good one. This planet is a sad little joke of a world squatting inside of the biggest, dumbest joke in the history of existence. You know, I bet nobody here even knew who I was. Everything I did for you. You didn't need some idiot clown to redeem you. Everything you needed was already here, because I fucking built it for you. And after all that, you couldn't even have the decency to be boring and nice to each other. So guess what? The carnival is over. I killed that Harlequin son of a bitch, and I hope he burns in clown hell forever. But for the crime of falling for his disgusting lies, your society, no, your whole planet, it deserves to burn straight to mega hell, and I'm gonna be the one to fly it there. I'm gonna shatter your paradise into pieces with my bare hands and shit in its grave. How's that for a fucking statement? You got all that, Jane Crocker? Do you understand what's coming for you? You've messed with Vriska fucking Circuit. And she has had enough. Vriska snap. And now she's got a tear. And now it's prose. So, whoo! Vriska trying to be sympathetic. That gunshot frame scared the heck out of you at first. That was a really... Sometimes the minimalist panels are the ones that really hit home the best. That was... a lot. Yeah, very, very, very typical, usual Vriska. I made all of this happen. I am the key to everything. Everything is my doing. I am the linchpin of this whole universe type of speech, which I think is a little over-exaggerating her role in things, but... She was definitely a very important player in all this, so... Oh, goodness. But yes, it is indeed very risky to walk into a situation that she has next to no familiarity with. Be like, this sucks and it's mine now, and then just start doing shit. Which is what she's about to do, so let's see what she's doing now. A whole bunch of things start happening at once. Here are just a few of them. In the blink of an eye, Vriska is airborne. She has evidently, and by her own admission, had enough. She reaches out with incredible speed and grabs the microphone that was brandished at her a moment before. In one smooth motion, she helicopters it around her head by the cord and sends it hurtling into the faces of witless journalists whose needling questions had been so irritating. He sprawls in the driveway, 2 rivulets of red starting to spring from his expertly broken nose. Here's the part where Megalovania would kick in if we still had Flash, right? Yeah, that was another thing they talked about in the commentary, was they confirmed that, like, for a great number of reasons, which they didn't list all of them and they don't have to, but for a great number of reasons, they will not be doing Flash animations for Homestuck Squared. And they didn't explain them explicitly, but I can definitely see a lot of the reasons why that wouldn't exactly be possible for this particular iteration. Her contribution was to release 4 players who all got their asses kicked until they peta carried but go off queen. Yeah, I mean, I think she's referring to a little bit wider scope than, like, just the final battle, but I see what you're saying. It's probably so they can get a very good head start. Still got a sound page after being told he wouldn't. That's true. They did have a sound page. They did have that one sound page. But, yeah, I mean, the way that the full-blown flashes were done for Homestuck, and really the whole methodology of how the original Homestuck, the art and the animation was created, was it got more, I guess for lack of a better word, like, professional as the comic went on. But for a lot of the comic's running time, it was Andrew Hussie and maybe a few people helping him out, working as fast as they possibly can to get stuff done. But, yeah. Hi, Gaster. Pretty sure Megalovania is God Tier Radius theme, not Vriska's. It's just that Vriska did in that short stood more in folks' memories. Yeah, I think it's an absolute crime that people think Megalovania is a Vriska song, because all she did in that flash was murder Tavros, which was a shitty thing to do that she ended up regretting later anyway. And Aradia went the fuck God Tier and froze Bec Noir in time and was a fucking badass, and I love her. Something along the lines of make it pay. Probably not. Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, that's that on that. And I'd like to personally thank James Roach Pesterquest for putting the Megalovania melody in Aradia's song for Pesterquest. Okay, we're swiftly sailing off track, as is usual for these, but I would like to take 5 soon, so let's get through the hot action on this page. Golden, you listen to it frequently, yeah. I hope that Pesterquest music goes up on the Bandcamp, because I know there weren't there weren't, like, as many original songs for Pesterquest as there were for Friendsim, but I would still absolutely buy that album. From its hole in the wall of Roxy's house, the bullet that flew over Vriska's shoulder seethes with indignant rage, furious to have missed such an easy shot. It is swiftly joined there by 6 more. The secret police have begun to open fire with a vengeance, if not a great deal of accuracy. Even before her first victim hits the deck, Vriska is already winding up to punch the jaw of the next. She has wedged some of the signature octahedral dice between her fingers as a makeshift knuckle duster. Good plan. There is a deliciously pointed crunching noise when her fist connects. In his hiding place behind a moderately sized garden gnome, Tavros Crocker lets out a small rodential squeal and puts his hands in front of his eyes. Fearing gunfire, the few paparazzi who aren't currently getting their asses handed to them by the world's angriest traffic cone. I love that there's, like, a couple different points in this prose where they, like, poke fun at Vriska just being, like, very orange in her god tier outfit. Fearing gunfire, the few paparazzi who aren't currently getting their asses handed to them by the world's angriest traffic cones start to trip over each other, diving for cover. A small fortune's worth of very expensive recording equipment is dropped and promptly shattered on the ground in the ensuing scuffle. The instantaneous loss of such a large sum of money causes a substantial drop in the ambient air pressure and conjures up a stiff breeze. Tucked inside of a small yet accommodating shrub, Harry Anderson worries that he might be forgetting how to breathe. He takes a series of gasps in and out just to be sure and clutches his scissors very tight. Yeah, so the kids in all the pandemonium, the three of them have snuck out behind Vriska, so they're making their escape, hoping that no one will notice them with Vriska doing all of the punching that she's doing. The stiff breeze comes in at a cheerful 5 on the Beaufort wind force scale. Fresh. Tavros wishes he had chosen a bigger gnome. Bullets continue to fly stupidly wide, and Vriska tosses her dice into the air without even looking. In a single beat of her fairy wings, she zips over to a nearby car, reaches underneath the front fender, and lifts. The fluorite octet tumble end over end, and the gunshots seem for a moment to coalesce into the sound of a thunderous roulette. Vriska is now holding the car end on above her head, its burglar alarm wailing in protest. So I believe this is Tavros' car, the fancy hover one. In a dance-like motion, she spins and spins once, twice, before loosing the vehicle skyward like an Olympian might a hammer. The press are fleeing for their lives, their professionalism and trashed equipment abandoned. As one of these snotty-faced and terrified reporters attempts to hide behind his shrub, Harry gives her a cautious jab in the leg with his scissors. Then he curls into a shaky ball and tries to remember the advice John gave him. Don't panic. The dice land. A booming, wordless voice pronounces Canon de oui Griboval. That might not have been the correct pronunciation. I haven't had to say anything French in a while, but we're going to go for it. The car approaches the apex of its trajectory, and as it slows, it appears to hang in the air, in a manner quite uncharacteristic of motor vehicles yet to be befitted with hover technology. It winks coyly in the afternoon sun. Okay, so maybe that wasn't Tavros' car, never mind. Far away in her lair, Jane Crocker grabs two sides of her computer monitor with enough strength to snap it in two. She can't believe what she's watching. Behind her, from a shadowy corner of the room, there is an agitated growling noise and the rattling of chains. The ground begins to shake as a battery of naval cannons materialize in flashes of cerulean light and drop into formation behind Vriska. She cracks her knuckles one by one with each impact. The vibrations cause Tavros' gnome to fall over. The enfilade is halted without recording a single hit. The secret police perched strategically in trees and behind mailboxes are now doing a synchronized slowly take off your badass shades and gawk at the sky type routine. The car seems to regard the laws of gravity as mere suggestion. Don't make a scene. Vriska Circuit laughs. The guns roar. And I notice we've got some things in chat here, so let me take a look at this link. Pictured Vriska. Indeed. Let me just get that on screen while I talk about, or look over what else is happening in chat right now. The Canon de 12 Bibeval, or a 12-pounder, was a French cannon and part of the symbol developed by Jean-Baptiste Vanquette de Gribeval. Distorted La Marseille intensifies. Vicious gangs of keep left signs. Interesting. Okay, yeah, row of... Or it was a French cannon. So Vriska summoned a row of those French cannons to fire at the fucking secret police. Okay. And yes, we are back to Vrissy and Vrissy's kind of perspective. Vrissy is the one that did not, we did not hear from her during the previous 8-pound cannon specifically, yes. To all of this and more, Vrissy is blissfully ignorant. She doesn't register the tearful and sniveling faces of the hapless journos as they beat a hasty retreat, nor the bruised and bloody faces of the ones writhing about on the ground, their purpling eyes and gasping mouths giving them the look of particularly wronged fish. In the mayhem, she doesn't notice Harry or Tavros or even the toppled gnome. All of these details and more sail above her head like a home run over an especially stubby shortstop. The only thing that registers to Vrissy Merriam Lalonde in this moment is a pair of brilliant orange eyes, framed by azure-tinted lashes and cut under with a sharp smirk. The sound of gun and cannon fire soak half-heartedly into her auricular sponge clots. The world beneath her is shockingly still. And all the while... those eyes seem to burn something deep into her, leaving pitch-black scorch marks into parts of her psyche she didn't even know existed. In all her life, Vrissy has never seen anyone look so cool, and it drives her nuts. As the blossoming fireball above wilts into angry, smoky cloud and flaming bits of X-Car begin to absolutely pelt down all around her, she feels someone grab her wrist. It's Harry Anderson, wearing an expression of animal panic. His mouth moves to form words she can't hear, but the message gets across all the same. It's time to get the fuck out of here. The Crockerite Fuzz has more pressing things to worry about than giving chase. The good fortune keeping the kids safe from the deadly automotive volley does not seem to be contagious. So they flee. Okay, so I think the implication here is that Vriska threw the car into the air and fired the cannons at the car so that it would explode. Through the suburbs and into the spindly, checkered streets of the central Carpathian kingdom, the four of them tear their way towards the bell tower in the distance. Vriska flies out in front, a pole star the color of a carrot. Immediately behind her is Tavros, whose many years of morning jogs with his father and emotional torment, his mother, have given him a frankly stupid degree of endurance, though you wouldn't think it to look at him. His glasses are beginning to slip and bounce on his slickening nose with every stride. A short way behind him is Vrissy, who is hanging back a little. Harry, still clutching her arm, is starting to lag. He has his eyes squeezed shut as he runs, and Vrissy thinks she can hear him muttering something to himself over and over between staggered breaths. Don't get caught. Don't get caught. Vrissy turns away as a mixture of pity and embarrassment threatens to join the worsening stitch in her side. Yes, the final line. We got the first two in the first part, and then don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught. Nobody gives chase. No one shouts, "Stop those kids!" in a commanding voice or implores some poor taxi driver to step on it. But they dare not slow. Tavros feels as though some dark and sinister shape is lurking just out of sight. It reminds him of the nights at home when he would sprint through the tall, imposing trophy rooms and mirrored hallways, racing for the miserable safety of his bedroom's glow after turning the kitchen light off. What he wouldn't give to be back there now. With their old lives quite exploded, he's unsure whether they're running out of the danger or into it. The brightness radiating off of Vriska has all the safety and comfort of a supernova. Vrissy, meanwhile, is considering growing out her hair. After a stomach-churning amount of frantic hightailing, the kids turn a corner and an esophageal road vomits them finally out into the central plaza. Compared to the cramped city streets, this wide-open space feels agoraphobic and exposed. The bell tower thrusts itself into the clear sky from the other side, all mnemonic and pointy, and its lengthening shadow beckons them to safety. Between, in the center of the large and perfect square, is the familiar Dirk Strider memorial statue standing stoic and still. Surrounding his plinth is a circular fountain, and around the circumference dozens of knee-high cherubic figures piss angelically inward. His affect is unreadable. Is it apathy? Boredom? Contemplation? As the kids hurry past, the shimmering particles shaken from Vriska's wings dance in the polished bronze of his shades, and for a moment his reflective face is suffused with an aura of conspiracy. Nobody pays him the slightest bit of attention. The four stop a while at the tower's base, chests heaving for air. Nobody says anything. They just sort of stand there and ache in each other's company for a bit. Vriska alights on the ground, rakes her throat, and quietly spits out a little wad of blue. Vriska alights on the ground, rakes her throat, and quietly spits out a little wad of blue and wipes her mouth unceremoniously. Tavros pats Harry Anderson's Yeah, I definitely need that 5-minute break. Tavros pats Harry Anderson tentatively on the arm. Vrissy tries to be badass and cough up something too, but she doesn't really make it work. Harry simply rests his hands on his knees, doubled over and shaking his head. Tavros looks at Vrissy over Harry's arched back and puffs out his cheeks with wide eyes. She gives him a tired half-smile in return. Vriska quietly massages a crick in her neck and rolls first one shoulder, then the other. It's unclear who cracks first, but someone does, and in an instant, all of them are dissolving into a bout of relieved giggles. It starts off as a light, bubbly kind of mirth before the sheer enormity of what they've just done sets in, and they progress to full-on belly laughing. The adrenaline in their blood turns to helium and begins to fizz, and all at once they feel lighter than air. They survived. They're fugitives. Tavros has to take his glasses off to wipe his eyes. Vrissy laughs so hard she thinks she might be sick. Harry Anderson has to go and be actually sick, which doesn't so much kill the mood as vaguely envelop it in the smell of puke. He has a wobbly grin on his face as he wipes the spittle from his chin, though. Vriska shakes her head, getting rid of her smirk like a wet dog would its water, and then puts her hands on her hips and huffs loudly up at the tower. Well, I'm not hauling all three of you up there. She walks over to the little oak door set into the bottom of the campanile. Before she can grab the handle, Tavros pipes up. We won't be able to get in that way. He starts to recount how, ever since the incident, the little oak door to the helical staircase which runs from the bottom of the tower to the belfry has been securely locked, to prevent copycats, he speculates. Vriska gets bored halfway through the explanation, though, and tries the latch anyway, and is the only one who isn't surprised when the door swings politely open. Thank you, thief of luck powers. Everything's coming up circuit. She bows theatrically, gestures for the others to make their way inside, and then leaps into the air with a beat of her wings. Last one to the top is a clown fucker. They run like the wind. And with that change of scenery, you don't get to escape clownfucker infamy that easily. I mean, that whole scene in the epilogues was horrible and questionable for an incredible number of reasons. Namely, the ginormous age gap between Vriska and Gamzee. So I'd err on the side of she was taken advantage of and not clownfucker. But yes, that is indeed quite the phrase to throw out there. And at the top we have a little silhouette. I wonder who that could be. I could never possibly guess. If you think the first scam scene was unbearable, oh boy. Yeah, I do think it was unbearable. I think it was quite horrible, actually. Yeah. Let's see. Vicious hand rubbing. Oh, geez. I have read this whole chapter before, so I know what's coming, and I don't think it's anywhere near fucking Vriska Gamzee levels of anything. Okay. Oh, that's right. We have a redemption of thingy. We have this lovely music to play. But it is time to take a little break. I really need to rest my voice and drink some water. So we're going to take 5 here before we hop into the next wild scene. Back in 5. Hello. Welcome back. I forgot to set the timer, but I'm pretty sure it's been approximately 5 minutes. So, it's time to return to the comic at hand. We can close that for now. And let's see who is waiting. It is John. Because of course it is. But yes, up they are, and yeah. They making pancakes. Who wants them? Oh, fuck yeah, pancakes. Yeah, I do think it's sweet. They're so happy to see each other. This is actually one of the tweets. They point out this kind of parallels between the panels, which could of course be reusing panels. Not reusing panels. Reusing panel templates in order to be economical. Something that the main comic did very, very many times. But I think it's also interesting to look at it as it's kind of like framing Jane and Vriska as character foils as well. So yeah, thought that was definitely interesting. Yes, it is very wholesome. It's very nice. We're so happy to see each other. Can't wait for Vriska to kick Jane's ass. Plenty of powdered sugar. Honestly, if a pancake's good enough, I'll eat it with nothing. But maybe that's just because I'm kind of lazy sometimes. And here they all are. All the little sprites. Okay. You made it! I knew you had it in you. Aw, thanks to... Of course we made it, John. It was a walk in the park. I had some of my best moves planned out. Gave them the speech of a fucking lifetime, and then they all just ran away without even trying to fight back properly. Frankly, I'm a little insulted by just how easy it was. But you must have known it would be a piece of grub cake. After all, we had me there. And there goes the ego. But yeah, like cutting off Harry trying to talk to his fucking dad. Like, stop it, Vriska. Let the boys speak. Yes, back to the squat little armless things with dumb toothy grins. Yes, squat little armless things with dumb toothy grins whom I love very much. Oh, Vriska. It's nice that you're basically the exact same person you always have been. Yeah, John is right away like, yep, that's Vriska. You're welcome. Honestly, I'm still a little bewildered by you being here, but I guess I'm happy to see you anyway. Especially in the context that doesn't involve any amount of kissing. Ouch! Not right now, you fuckhead. Oh, crap. Sorry. Yeah, she's like, I thought I told you. That secret dies between us. Yeah, Vriska, can you not for 5 seconds? Like, just let the boy speak. Anyway, thanks for helping out, I guess. I can take it from here, though. Be my guest. Okay. If you don't mind, Vriska? I'd like to talk to my son, please. Oh, right. Sure. Don't let me get in your way. I'll just be over here basking in the knowledge of a job well done and plotting acts basking in the knowledge of a job well done and plotting acts of violence. Thanks. She has no concept of why Harry talking to John would be important. That's true. That's as an Alternian-born troll, the idea of this specific kind of parental familial relationships is sometimes the importance is not fully understood. I'm limping to a respectable distance right this second. I hate to feel your touching reunion. Sorry about that, Harry Anderson. Where were we? Oh, right, your escape. I guess I already said, but I knew you had it in you. Yeah, I guess so. I love this conversation between them so much. It warms my heart. I realized that it was a lot to handle, though. You can say that again. It wasn't until after I hung up that I even remembered that I never gave you that striped specimen for your 16th birthday. Oh, it's okay. Vriska had a spare. I put my sewing scissors on it. It's all I really had at the time. Haha, that sounds familiar. I kind of stumbled ass backwards into getting stuck with my first hammer, but after a while, I couldn't imagine having picked anything else. I'm sure you'll do some amazing things with it. You already did, in fact. I'm sure Jane is feeling really butthurt about things this very minute. Prankster's Gambit is tipped back in our favor, that's for sure. Yeah. If it's alright, Dad, I don't really want to talk about it all that much right now. You're right, it was kind of a lot to go through. That's okay. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want. Honestly, who cares about Strife Specify or the Prankster's Gambit or whatever? That's not what's important. I'm just glad to know that you're safe. Dad? Yes, son? Ah! God, that's just them calling each other those things. It's just like, dang. Makes it really sink in. Can I ask you a question? Anything, son. Okay, cool. So, how come you're wearing that thing? Thing? You know, the windsock. I thought it was busy getting eaten by moths in a museum or something. Please don't tell me you broke in there just to get it back. Oh, the God tier outfit. Don't worry, I can just sort of manifest this whenever I want. Although, now that you mention it, the guys at the museum will probably be wondering where it went. Or maybe it's still there? To be honest, I have no idea whether this is the same outfit. I don't think it follows the same laws of physics and stuff that normal clothing does. They are just your basic magic pajamas at the end of the day. And it didn't occur to you to, magic them any bigger? You just look like, well, a grown adult wearing clothes for a kid. It's kind of embarrassing to look at. You're right. I admit, I didn't give it a whole lot of thought. It just felt like the right thing to put on at the time. I'm pretty sure no such time has ever existed. I don't believe this. What have I ever done to deserve such cruelty from my own son? LMAO. I just love that they're bonding. My boy wearing his middle school Halloween costume. Yeah, John was just like, this is fine. But, we'll get to a part where there's set up for something that, pieces are falling into place. But I will explain that when we get there. Or not explain, just kind of point it out. Yeah, I guess you're right, though. This old thing is pretty uncomfortable in a lot of ways. When we get a moment, maybe the two of us could brainstorm a redesign? No pressure, though. So, it turns out I said all that stuff, and I was literally about to read the lines that I was referring to. So, it's giving us the setup for a redesign of the God tier outfit. And I do believe this is a part of the setup for the Junening. Oh, Max has redeemed a make me say something. Holy shit, there's 2 of them! Sewing, clothing design, bonding. Harry would love that. Yeah, Harry would love that. It's so perfect. And I do think it's part of the setup for the June inning. That's just, I don't know. That's just how I have decided to refer to it, is the June inning. Because there's this, and then there's, the offhand mention of, John having shaved off a mustache and like all that stuff. But yes, haha. Have a think about it anyway. In the meantime, I need to go have a quick word with the other Vriska. Vrissy. Oh, right. Vrissy, sorry. Hello there. I guess you were listening to all that? Not really. I just have a sense of hearing that's particularly attuned to the sound of other people talking about me. Or, well, I did until recently. I bet it's been a bit strange having the original Vriska around. I will say that it is very confusing having both of you in the same place at once. Oh man, now that I think about it. Dad, this feels like the perfect conditions for some identical twin type shenanigans, like in The Parent Trap or something. I'm not sure how either of you would feel about being played by Lindsay Lohan, though. Oh my god, kill me now. But anyway, Vrissy, your mom called me a while ago. Your mom's called me a while ago. They sounded very worried that you weren't answering your phone. Obviously, I was busy. Well, anyway, they're on their way here. Jade is coming too. They should arrive any minute. Oh, you're kidding. Here they come now. I can see them over there. I fucking love this, like, John launches off into, like, these kids don't know who the fuck Lindsay Lohan is. Like, fucking Parent Trap and all this stuff. Oh, and Harry's just like, will you shut the fuck up? You're embarrassing me, stop it. And in the distance, we see them. And a swift landing because Kanaya is not able to fly. Hey guys! Rose, it's so good to see you. Even though I guess we just saw each other not even a day ago. Yeah, because this is set pretty shortly after Epilogues. Oh, she's just about to get out. Yeah, we're about to get to the major discourse. If you can believe it, the major discourse had nothing to do with Vriska this time. The contents of this conversation got people so heated that I saw literally not even a single piece of Vriskourse. Absolutely astounding. Between the oohs and the new command, you may never speak normally again. Really just, well, we'll get to it. We'll get there. Homestuck quotes in Jägermonster accents. Seen a bit, just about important by canon standards to being. Okay. Alright. I suppose there had to be some out there somewhere. It just didn't quite reach my dashboards. Okay. Very cartoonish, exaggerated Eastern European accents. Yeah, I don't know if I quite agree with like apologizers versus non-apologizers as like sides in a discourse, but I know that's kind of a framing that's taken by a number of people. Let's see what goes on. Let's get there first before we get on this. Yes. Hello again, John. It's good to see you too. Oh, wow. That has to be the smallest number of words you've ever greeted me with. And Jade, it's been too long? I'm glad you're here. Hi, John. Me too? Yeah, I don't think really, did they get a conversation together in the epilogues? Oh, is that like a phonetic representation of that accent? I knew you were involved with the troll rebellion as well, but I didn't think you'd turn up looking quite so cool. I think the camo really suits you. And silence. Jade, is everything okay? Oh yes, Aleph redeemed Uwus specifically for Jade because there's no Jade dialogue in this. Oh, I'm fine, John. Everything is fine. It's just, woes. Will it help you? I think what Jade is trying to say is that, to stay within your chosen topic of outfits for the moment, the two of us are currently experiencing a sudden bout of speechlessness that is not entirely unrelated to the present state of yours, which is to say, the pajamas. Ah. I've heard of suns out, tums out, but this is a little extreme. Anyone would think you didn't know there's a war on. Not to be rude, of course. No, it's all right, Rose. I've already heard the same thing from Harry Anderson. In fact, if anyone else would like to criticize the clothes, now's your chance. Please feel free to form an orderly queue right here. Kanaya, I'm sure you've got something to say about it, right? Kanaya? That's how they talk in the comic. Oh dear. Do not mind me, John. I am simply making quite sure that my daughter over here is all right and not causing any more trouble than I am certain she already has. Psst. And not the good kind of trouble which involved acts of misbehavior towards figures and structures of immense corruption or maleficence, such as the kind of trouble we are presently in and will continue to be in while our cause remains true. Meanwhile, I trust my wife, whom I love utterly, to make known to you everything that is happening at the present moment, without tactical omission, in a manner that is comprehensive and unexpurgated. Haha. Alright then. So, what's up, Rose? The real verse course is the friends we made along the way. Jeez. That does seem to be the question, doesn't it? The situation is difficult to describe. Oh, I'm sure it's not all that bad. I mean, sure, I guess we are in a bit of a complicated mess, especially ever since Vriska showed up, killed Gamzee, and declared herself and the rest of us terrorists or something. You're welcome. But nothing we shouldn't be able to think our way out of, now that we're all together. Right? John. There was something I need to tell you. And we have lost the pictures. There was something I need to tell you. There was no point in hiding it anymore. Jade's words, spoken in nothing more than a dramatic whisper, nevertheless seemed to echo in John's ears. Her face is somehow in shadow despite the sunny day, and John swears there's even an unexpected chill in the air. He feels a nervous prickling sensation crawl its way up his spine. The windmills in John's brain slowly creak into motion. It must be something big. Something really big. Something so big that his sister would come all the way here to tell him in person, abandoning her scouting mission in the middle of an armed conflict to do so. As well as her husband, John realizes with a start as Dave's curious absence finally brings itself to his attention. Hot on the heels of that realization is another and another then another. Jade's mouth moves without a sound now. The wind that only exists in John's head is drowning out everything she's saying as it whips itself up into a gale and his mind races frantically towards a conclusion. All at once he reaches the eye of the storm, and then, from somewhere out of a half-remembered dream, comes the sensation of falling. A burning golden city. A girl screaming. There is only one thing that Jade Harley has ever valued so highly above everything else, even her own life. Family. Jade, are you pregnant? John, No, just listen. You want to talk about something in a while? Alright, yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about all this stuff once all the cards are on the table. Jade finally looks up at him. Her face is wide-eyed and angry? What? No! No, John, I'm not fucking pregnant. Oh. Putting aside the fact that that's completely impossible for a whole bunch of different reasons, why would you even say that? Weren't you listening to what I was saying? I was, now I have to start all over again. John, I have a daughter. She's almost Harry Anderson's age. You have a daughter? Yes. You've had a daughter? Yes, John. Wow. I'm a little shocked about this. I mean, you have a daughter? So the consort theory was incorrect, to say the least. They aren't giving him much to go on, to be fair. Oh, God. We'll get there. We'll get to the... yeah, there's a lot to... Okay. What? Yes, John, I have a daughter. In fact, I have a daughter, John. In fact, I've had a daughter. I'm trying to like Jade voice and Uwu's at the same time because of the Uwu redemption, but the seriousness of this conversation is like really conflicting with my needing to do the Uwu voice. In fact, I've had a daughter for quite a while. I'm sorry, I'm still struggling to process this a little bit. If she's nearly Harry Anderson age, then that means you've had a daughter for what? I guess that must be about 15 years? Yep. Wow, I'm not sure how I feel about this. John, I have had a daughter for 15 years and I didn't tell you about it. I am so very sorry if that hurts your oh so precious feelings. It is deathly quiet. You, of all people, don't get to judge me, okay? Everyone was getting married and having babies all at the time, and I wanted that for myself so badly. You have no idea what it was like living on that fucking island with my dead grandfather waiting forever for you to finally wake up, and then I went through all that nonsense all over again on the ship through the yard, and then when it was over, I thought maybe I could have something like a normal life, but then you just vanished on everyone for years. Everyone was busy building the wives we'd all been working for. Rose and Kanaya, Roxy and Callie, Jake and Dave and Carcat were... Look, I knew, okay? I knew on some level that they just didn't want me there. I knew the plans they had for each other, even when they didn't. And it was clear that I didn't fit into those plans, but they just wouldn't admit it. I tried so hard to get them to see what they wanted, but it just didn't work. And then Carcat left, and I couldn't just leave Dave by himself after what happened to Dirk, so I stayed. I tried to be the good person and stay, but then he... Jade, it's all right. I can take it from here. Okay. So is Jade mad at John for being depressed and not wanting to talk to anyone and then getting better? I don't think it's necessarily Jade is mad at John for being depressed and getting better. It's just that, you know, Jade is upset that he disappeared and he wasn't there for that important part of her life. It's not necessarily that she's mad at him for struggling with depression. Like, you know, even if an action is in part caused by a mental illness, that doesn't undo the hurt that it does to the other people, you know what I mean? So I don't think that she's really mad at him for being depressed. You know, like, even, like, if you know, if through that depression, like, you know, that pulling away, I feel that. I've done that before. I've had, like, days where I just didn't respond to people's messages for a while, right? But, yeah. Like, and those people have the right to be mad at me, and I still gotta apologize for that, even though it was a mental health related thing. But, yeah. Do anything wrong by helping himself, but he was still absent, and it still happened. Yeah, so that's kind of the thing that's happening here. Okay, but yeah, that was a lot of just John wasn't listening, and then he was like, you know, I don't know how I feel about this, and that was just like, Jade's had a rough fucking day, and it just, like, the dam broke, and everything came pouring out. Oh, my sweet. But yes, yeah, I'm getting into as well, just, like, stuff with Dave and Karkat, and Rose is gonna grab the wheels. Or, grab the wheels? Wheel. Steering wheel singular. Okay. Jade leans soggily into Rose's shoulder. Jade, I'm sorry, John, if you start crying as well, we shall never get anywhere. Right, sorry. I'm sorry, I got a bit lost in all that. Could we rewind a little? I think that might be for the best, narratively speaking. We got a touch sidetracked. She gives Jade a gentle pat on the back as she said this. So, to rewind. Jade wanted a child of her own, but while she was with Dave and Karkat, the three of them were unable to conceive one due to a number of reasons. They looked into adoption, but... well, let's just say that if the administration was getting uncomfortable about an adoption between a troll and a human, they were starting to be outright obstructionist when it came to one between a troll and two. Having exhausted all other options for producing or fostering a child between the three of them, Jade had to look elsewhere. You mean, find a surrogate or something? Correct. It was at this point that Jade came to me. I could understand her pain quite acutely, and so I agreed to carry a child on her behalf, without telling Kanaya. There is another heavy silence. Vrissy is stunned, all 8 pupils staring at her mother in shock. Harry and Tavros are trying to find somewhere to look that isn't straight at Rose. Vriska, meanwhile, is sporting a grin as wide as a bus and looks like she wants to give someone a high five. Jade is the picture of misery. Kanaya doesn't seem to be surprised or angry or even disappointed. She just folds her arms expectantly. John is discovering that he can't decide what to do with his hands. He feels impossibly embarrassed. I'm not sure why I made that decision. I regret not telling Kanaya, of course, but I can't say that I regret going through with it. At the time, I didn't feel as though the deception was even all that prolonged. The whole affair was short, purely physical, and nothing more. Kanaya finally moves to stand next to her wife. She places a soft, glowing hand on the shoulder that hasn't been generously watered by Jade. Rose and I have already discussed this in private before coming here, and I have thereafter already said everything that I would like to say on the matter. And vis-a-vis the matter, I think that's really all there is to say. I wanted to be able to tell Vrissy this in person, however. Moreover, for her benefit, and for that of everyone else, I feel in my capacity as a mother and leader, I should make it clear. This is not something that will undermine Rose's and my relationship, neither as comrades or as a couple. I am upset at being lied to, and for no other reason. And in particular, I would like to make it understood that I do not and never will see Jade as having jeopardized our marriage through the simple crime of wanting to be a mother. If anyone in this world understands the lengths to which a person will go to achieve such an end, that person is me. As she says this, Kanaya looks at Vrissy, and it's a look all filled to bursting with 2 universes and countless lifetimes worth of love and maternal devotion. To all observers, Vrissy is either on the verge of bursting into tears or gagging. It could really go either way. So that whole thing was one of the major sticking points. And it's a little bit of a thorn in my side, too. I really don't understand the logic behind Rose not talking to Kanaya, especially when I'm sure Kanaya, as stated, would fully understand the situation. But, like, from a writing perspective, I don't really have a... It's not really a writing criticism, because it's just kind of like, I don't like it and I think it's stupid, and that's not really, like... That's Panther's destroying gif of John's mental state a few paragraphs back. Oh yeah. That's... I don't really have the words for a more specific criticism at the moment. Yeah. Not a fan of that particular part. I don't understand any of the logic behind Rose not talking to Kanaya about it. Candy back when it was under Alt Callie's control. The Yiffy Mary Sue theory is very intriguing. Yeah, I guess, does everybody just, know? I mean, like, in terms of the actual happening of it, someone did point out that there is some seeding in the epilogues themselves. In chapter 18 here, we get this conversation between Jade and Jake where she says, I thought about asking Rose to help us, but that's so much to ask. And of course, now we see the end result is that she did end up talking to Rose. Didn't see it as a big deal or was worried that Kanaya would disagree. Well, see, that's the thing, is that I don't see the plausibility of either of those options personally, just for Rose and especially with, yeah, I don't know. They get a little bit more into the reasoning for it later, and I still kind of am raising an eyebrow at that, but I think, what's it called? I think the reasoning is that, as they explained it later, we can just talk about it when they get into the way that they explained the particular reasoning, I guess, then. But, yeah, so anyway, that's one post. Was this? Oh, yeah, I talked about that one already. I can close that. I think Rose afraid that Kanaya would disagree is an effective Candy, because Rose is always a trusting person. Yeah, I don't know if I would say that Rose is a trusting person. She's actually generally fairly skeptical, but with Kanaya in particular, I mean, like, they are very trusting of each other. I mean, like, they're married to each other for a reason. It's Candy, everyone's out of character. It's like trickster mode, but it makes even less sense because it doesn't have the flashing colors. Oh, Max's bird. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, there's certain... Yeah, I feel like the facts of the Candy timeline show up more in, like, factual discrepancies. Am I fucking using that word properly? Yeah, no, I am using that word properly. It's more in factual discrepancies than character discrepancies, like Rose saying in Candy, when they're having that conversation, and she just says, as if it's matter of fact, oh, Vriska killed Lord English, and a few of the other nitpicks in earlier chapters that we pointed out, but yeah, like there's definitely some minor tweaks in personality as well. Seer powers. Yeah, Rose's seer powers are kind of a lot of uncertainty that she wouldn't be used to. That's true as well. Her seer powers aren't working the same. She may have grown to rely on them, but why is the keyboard changing it? Yeah. I don't know. Keywords. My autocorrect does some weird fucking shit too. Rose has never had a healthy relationship with anyone, and unfortunately Kanaya didn't break that streak. Yeah, I guess Rose doesn't have a lot of healthy relationship models to go off of, but, Yeah, I mean, every no relationship is 100% perfect. There's little bad habits in every relationship, but yeah, I think just the reasoning behind it and the not telling can I is my personal big sticking point with this whole within the discourse of this, but like I haven't hopped into the discourse because it's a fucking trash fire. But anyway, yeah, there's a few other things to get to about this details of this particular revelation, so let's continue moving towards those. So Versi is shocked at learning that she has a sibling all of a sudden. So just to get this straight in my head, Rose, if you're the mother, then since obviously neither Dave or Karkat is the father, who is it? Rose's expression has the patience and tranquility of a mountain. Jade's is made of knives. John, there isn't a father. Jade and I are the sole parents of this child. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's quite all right, John, although you might like to direct that apology more towards your sister. All I will say is that if you would like to take up the particulars with us some other time. Here Rose looks pointedly at the various teens dotted about the belfry, all of whom are remarkably interested in the local architecture all of a sudden. Then I'm sure Jade and I can walk you through some of the basic concepts. I'm about to change the subject. Okay. So, how did you hide the pregnancy? So this was another thing that a lot of people, there's just like breaking it down, all the different little discourse points. This was another thing that people were fucking mad about. That you didn't get was how Jade impregnated Rose. Yeah, so there's like a couple theories to that. There was the thing with her fusing with Beck, that was like a fan thing, and then they poked at it a little bit in the epilogues. So there's that. There's also the possibility that it's that in combination with she's just, was a trans girl the whole time. So either one, if you would prefer, but like that's that is how that would work. But yeah, that was another thing that people were mad about. I am not. I think they handled it much better here than, like, there were certain ways that they talked about it in the epilogues that I was like, I don't know, like, it seemed to only come up when it was the butt of a joke, and I didn't like that, but they handled it a lot better here, so. Post-puberty as a side effect of fusing with Beck, and the HS squared authors and PGen Pod server are heavily against that and big pro-trans from Jade. Yeah. I mean, like, they haven't explicitly stated the cause within the comic, so really it could be either one. Just pick whichever one you like. But, yeah, that's, yeah, I didn't know that the authors specifically took, that stance. Yeah, I'm really, really behind on PGen Pod. I basically stopped listening to podcasts when quarantine started because I only ever listened to them on my commute to school and to work. So I'm really, really behind on PGen Pod. You're fine with it. You don't need to know. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, it's here, it's a thing, and now we're gonna keep talking about, that. How they had the frequency. Just in the Discord server. Okay. Yeah, but, yeah, that is a thing. Pretty sure that Jade is a trans woman. Well, yeah. I mean, that's, yeah. Yes. Can God tier change their body or just their outfit? That, is not confirmed. I know that it's a headcanon that I've seen a number of people really like, that when you go God tier, it gives you the kind of your ideals. I think the basis of that was because of like Tavros and Terezi's dream selves. How Terezi, her blindness was a core part of her identity, that's something that she thinks is important to her and loves about herself. So when she went blind, so did her dream self. But Tavros, when Tavros doesn't have that kind of connection with his disability, and so when his back was broken in the real world, his dream self has fully functioning legs. So I think that was kind of where that headcanon basis like came from, that the god, that like the dream self and therefore the god tier for a trans person would be like the transitioned body that they want. But in terms of like very specifically, that in particular has not been talked about like within the comic itself. Don't have clear information, but if your dream self were morphed at the time of fusion, it might, and we might see proof either way with Meet Timeline Roxy. Yeah, I'm not sure with Roxy, but yeah, that's sort of that's pretty much the crux of the dream self stuff, is that like it's a theory based on some things that are within the comic, but it hasn't explicitly been stated either way in specific reference to transness and being trans. Okay, and we are down here. Actually, it's been a whole hour again, and we've got a fair bit of things to talk about and discuss. Also, I really need to pee, so we're gonna do another 5 minutes. Oh crap, I closed that tab. Because, you know, I want to rest my voice a little more, and yeah, I just, you know, need to pee, so I'm going to go do that. Wait, Marcus, are you referring to what I think you are? Oh, God. Question. Transfeminist person who transition... yeah, transfem is... I guess to use your wording, person who transitioned to femme. You're just joking. I know, but it just really caught me by surprise. But yeah, it's more inclusive than trans woman, because it includes non-binary people who make that transition as well. So, can't wait till we get the design reveal. Yes, they showed the silhouette in the preview. I'll give a little description of that when we get to the end of this, but right now, we're gonna take a short break, and then we'll get right back into the weeds. Okay, back in 5. Hello. I am back. Oh, shoot. Well, I will see you around, Aleph. Permanent ooh for Yiffy upon introduction. We'll see. You've been thinking about it, yeah. So I'm just doing a brief scan over the messages that just popped up. Okay, so there's a couple things. Yeah, I would say when it comes to like asking questions and stuff, like it's just, you know, double checking to make sure it's the right time and place. is kind of the biggest thing. This, for example, I would like this to be an open space where people do feel welcome to ask questions. Yeah, it's just that sometimes folks get a little touchy about it just because, unfortunately, a lot of trans folks have to deal with getting those kinds of invasive questions from, like, total strangers and all this stuff, and it's just like, you know, it's not a good time. But I will say, at the very least, this is a good space to ask those questions. I will agree that doing, you know, a quick little Google search can often be helpful as well. So getting into, yeah, what is a quote-unquote male body and all that stuff, that's like, I mean, the terms male and female have, like, they're both gendered and, like, specifically sex-associated, like, terms, so I've just kind of, like, cut them out of my lexicon as descriptors for things because I don't personally I don't want to draw that association. But yeah, I mean, a man's body is the body of a person who is a man, whether that person is cis or trans. That's a man's body. A woman's body is the body of a woman, cis or trans. It's a woman's body, right? Like, that kind of language of, like, kind of like a male body, generally say, like, designated male at birth or assigned male at birth, rather than being like, this is a male body in terms of, like, terminology preferences. I think that's the general preference. Of course, I can't speak for everyone. Yeah, you hope that the writer's solution to maintaining the gender balance of the characters isn't to just make both Egbert Harley kids. I mean, I don't think that, I think the kind of, like, gendered balance of, like, the setup with, like, having 2 and 2 and all that stuff, I don't think that's really a thing here anymore. I think they're just gonna go buck wild with it, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, like, the June inning is going to happen for sure. We are gonna get both Jade and June in there. And yeah, like, all the stuff, like, specifically in reference to how Jade feels about herself and her body, that's, like, I don't think that's ever gonna get a lot of super heavy exploration in the comic, and I think that's okay, because that's really deeply personal, and we'd have to get way... It would take a very specific scene and setup to for them to actually go into that within the comic. Oh, right, June Jade, they got transistors thanks to Whack. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, trans Jade stuff, Whack Require has been on that train since way before this update and has made a lot of really good, really interesting posts talking about it. Has also had to deal with a lot of really fucking shitty anons, because she runs Homestuck, the Homestuck examination Tumblr, and there's been some real fucking shitheads. Yeah, there's been, I'm just doing a rough scan. But, yeah. Let me see here. I guess I'll just link to Homestuck Examined, as well as, Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where the fuck all my tabs are. You follow, it's awesome. Yeah, it is really great, and she's done a lot of really great posts talking about kind of trans shit as well. And then I guess her own Tumblr as well. I'm pretty sure she does some theory pretty sure. No, I know she's done some theory posting over there as well. I've talked about her posts on stream before. Dregs of our fandom have some whack opinions on the best of days. Yeah, it's like seeing the kind of shit that she gets is just, it's disheartening and absurd, but like seeing the response, the support and response is really great. But, yeah, so those are good places to go. Let me just, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm trying to get all the links together for the YouTube video. If you're watching this on YouTube, all the links for everything that's mentioned, anything that's linked in chat, they're all down in the description. There we go. Jade hate Anon out here prowling. Yeah, God. I really hope that person stops doing that. But yes, indeed, Homestuck examination is a good resource for that. And yeah, we'll have to see where they take it. I trust in this writing team to handle this subject matter well. So yeah, I'm just, looking forward to seeing what direction they take that gender stuff in the writing. Okay, so we are back in the comic with John. So, how did you hide the pregnancy? Oh, that was simple. Jade's genes being, as they are, part canine, the gestation period was substantially reduced. I carried the baby to term in just under 2 months. Since she was unfamiliar with human pregnancy at the time, I assumed Kanaya simply thought I was looking a little more substantial than usual, and didn't think it polite to comment. In defense of my observational skills, I feel like I should point out that you had recently recovered miraculously from a debilitating and potentially fatal illness, a state in which you were exceptionally malnourished, to say the least. Oh yes, that was another thing that people didn't like, was Kanaya's response. I'm remembering all the bullet points. Oh, whoops. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, that was another thing that people did not like, was Kanaya's response. They said before that they already talked about it beforehand, so she's probably already, and they mentioned before, giving a side eye to the kids, because they don't want to have a blow up in front of the kids, right? So, I think it's partly that. It's partly they've had this conversation before, and she probably got a lot of her anger out then. It could also partly be like, this is a thing that I do, and that I, maybe I'm projecting, but, sometimes it's like you receive like upsetting news, but like logically the situation checks out, and you're like, okay, logically I don't think I should be upset about this. So, it's like tamping that down and being like, I shouldn't be mad about this because it makes, sense, and I agree with the such and such thing, like Kanaya, understanding her wanting to be a mother and all that stuff. But like, the shit hits the fan eventually. You can't just pretend not to be upset forever. So that may or may not be happening here with Kanaya as well, but I might also be projecting. So, I can understand hate towards Kanaya's reaction, but Alternia has such a fragmented romance system anyways. Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's connected specifically to, like, Alternia's romance system, her reaction here, but, yeah, they do have their kind of mainstreamed acceptable concept of romance is different than like the concept of acceptable romance that people would be bringing over from Earth culture. So that would, give her a different perspective a little bit. Yeah, let's hide this from Rissy. Why not? It's not like Vriska could get pissed, right? Yeah, I think that, we see Brissy's response at the bottom here. Oh, that's right. The name is what breaks Brissy. Okay, we're getting to the name, which is another point of contention. Well, quite. Anyway, with the messy part finished, all that was left was the trifling matter of Jade and I raising the child together in secret for 15 years. A task that we performed flawlessly until a few short moments ago when she became the political prisoner of a certain Jane Crocker. Oh my god, that... No offense, Jade, but that bitch! So with this, finally, is the predicament that we are presently faced with. Jane has taken Yiffy hostage in retaliation for our supposed kidnapping of her son and the murder of her former favorite clown. The fact that one of these things actually happened and that the rebellion is responsible for neither of them will not matter to her in the slightest. The woman means murder. Christ. Okay. I think I understand everything, so wait! You mean to tell me, not only do I have a sister, but you named your secret child Yiffy? Rissy saying what's on everybody's mind. The full name, and Andrew has the original. Oh, yes. So, once I get to this point, I'll go over the last two links at the top here. Vriska quietly settles herself on herself as a high-five partner. With geological slowness, Rose turns to face her one reasonably named daughter, a tinge of embarrassment coloring her face for the first time this afternoon. Well, no. We didn't call her Yiffy. That would be a quite ridiculous thing with which to burden a child. Her full name is Yiffany Longstocking Lalonde Harley. You like it? It's unique. I think it's just the Yiff part that's really got me. Like, that's like, Yiffy is like, it's like naming a kid Fucky. Because, like, that's what yiffing is, the whole... But in terms of the name and the inclusion of this and all this whole thing, from one of the authors, you will recall from October that we mentioned there were two things Andrew declared non-negotiable. Here is one. So, the inclusion of Yiffy was one of the non-negotiable things. So the folks who love to pull out, "You're ruining Andrew Hussey's beautiful Homestuck" vision, they don't have ground to stand on any time, but they especially don't have ground to stand on now. And just like the planning even, like I've known about Yiffy since December 2018. It was the first thing I was told about the future of Homestuck, and I already went through all the stages. So like even the people writing this had our similar experiences. The lonely burden of this knowledge has been the primary driver of my derangement over the past 2 years. She put me in phase 2. So yeah, you're all here with me now. This is the world we have inherited. It is Andrew's psychosphere, and we are all just living in it. So this has been like a long time plan. This was not a whim or an additional thing that the team came up with. This has been Andrew Hussey's plan for, like, from before the Epilogues even came out. Like a British kid named Shaggy. Oh, fuck. Fuck, you're right. I don't think anybody has used that term seriously in like 10 years. Okay, that's true. I mean, like, I know that they absolutely were using it here as a complete joke. But yeah, Jade out here reclaiming the word yiff. I suppose that's one way to look at it. Vriska looks as though she is about to shit the bell tower they are standing in, brick by brick. There's a lot of really fantastic lines in the prose of this chapter. It was, in hindsight, a monumentally terrible decision acting as the final chapter in a long series of novels, each one full of progressively more terrible decisions than the last. But that is the name that we decided upon. You have to understand, this whole situation ended up playing out a bit like an ironic game of chicken between the two of us. Something that far outstripped anything that the Strider fraternity could have produced in their wildest, most JPEG'd creative wet dreams. But in the end, that triumph of irony came back to bite us in the fucking ass, as irony is wont to do. There is absolutely no possibility of us casually letting you all know that, by the way, we have a secret daughter named Yiffy Longstocking. At least, not right away. But Carpathian change of name paperwork is so complex and circuitous that eventually keeping quiet forever just seemed like the more reasonable option. So, here we are. So this was the other thing that personally, ticked me a little bit, was the fact that they kept it a secret for so long, and the fact that their reason was dumb. Like, I know this is Candy Timeline, but this is, being like, we named her something stupid and we were embarrassed. Y'all, you know that you don't have to tell everybody your legal name, right? Like, you could, lots of people don't go by their legal name or like don't really tell people their legal name or only use it in places where a legal name is absolutely necessary. Like, that's a thing you can do. Longstocking is a joke because he didn't understand. Pippi Longstocking, like the beloved children's literature icon of Sweden. Although, I suppose originated from Sweden, but I remember seeing some Pippi Longstocking on TV when I was a kid. Actually, you know what? Let me just Google that then. Just add Pippi Longstocking to the growing list of weird things that I have Googled during a stream that are now in my search history, I guess. Yes, Pippi Longstocking is the fictional main character in an eponymous series of children's books by Swedish author Astrid Lindgren. So yes, that is a Swedish origin. They would have named her that while Alt Callie isn't still in control. You're blaming her. Yeah. Who are you calling JPEG? Surprised that Rose and Jay can out-irony the Striders. But yeah, Rose playing irony chicken and never flinching all her life. Yeah. I do believe Rose has it in her to play irony chicken and never flinch all her life. But y'all, this just, Rose, why? Just don't, and this, this is kind of offered as the reason, I think, why they didn't tell Kanaya that they were doing this either. Like, that was the connection that I made anyway. Like, even before the name, this fact that it was a game of irony chicken, or an ironic game of chicken, sorry, appears to be the reasoning they're offering for why she didn't tell Kanaya either. And, like, just the whole thing just makes me like, come on, Rose. God damn. When did Alt Callie control end? About the same time as the kidnapping and the John Harry car ride. Yeah, I think maybe a little after that? I don't know. The exact timing, like, it was definitely, Actually, if we open up, the Homestuck website and just go take a quick peep at the meat postscript, which is where that would be. 44. Distant sound of war travel above the canopy of the forest. Artillery fire fades to a series of muted knocks and thuds as the sound waves cross beyond a thinning patch of the forest, and they arrive in a clearing full of grass and shrubbery. So this was kind of the sentence that I was looking for, because the sounds in the back would signify whether or not the battle had actually started. Because when John has that conversation with Rose, and that at that point in the story, the battle had not yet started. So it's at some point after that is when Calliope loses control of, or leaves, I guess. She didn't really control. She leaves the Candy timeline. So that is the context for that. Younger Jade still be possessed, since it's only hours after John and Roxy spoke. Waiting for English to crash land in the black hole. Yeah, so I think at this point, they have made their exit. Like at this around the same time as, or a little before, the kids do the thing with the Gamzee's body. So I'm pretty sure that is the rough timeline. Okay, so we've got this, which hurts my heart. Everyone lapses into a third, meaningful silence, one which has an air of finality about it, as they collectively contemplate the here that they are in. The here that they are. They have plans to make. Even now, Yiffy is likely being held at spoon point, subject to the mercies of a power-crazed tyrant in Pagliaccio mourning. I fucking like the prose in this chapter. The war for the planet is only just getting started, and the worst is likely still to come. And yet, when Rose slowly wipes a single tear from her eye and leans forward to touch foreheads with Kanaya, John suspects that the whole thing might have just brought them all closer together. Behind him, Harry Anderson stifles a sleepy yawn. The day which once threatened to never end is now fading from the world. As the sky above starts to purple, the heaviness of the events hanging over them dissolves into the warmth of the evening sun, and a refreshing current of air seems to blow the last traces of it away like the merest dust. It is only later that night, in the mess hall on board the Rebellion ship, that John absent-mindedly turns to Jade and asks, "So where's Dave?" Isn't that a fun question? So, because Dave just fucked her right off without saying bye. So we don't know how much anyone else may or may not know about the state of Dave. And what a humdinger of a question to end on. Yeah. I think in terms of discussional points, so a couple of things about the bonus chapter in relation to things here. We are given a silhouette of Yiffy, and because earlier on we get that in the prose with Jane. There's chains rattling and growling behind her, so people were like, oh my god, is she literally a dog? Did Rose birth a dog? No. She will have some dog genes given that one of her parents is Jade, but it appears to be a silhouette with short, scruffy hair, that kind of pointy thing that Jade has in the top of her hair, and of course, little pointy ears. So that is the silhouette we are given. It is a human silhouette with the pointy ears, short, scruffy hair. That's what we're looking at. And in terms of hopefully we'll get an update on them next, but probably not. Yeah, I really would like to see what they're up to as well. Dave entered the black hole, so he's in me. Like, Yeah, they're around there somewhere. Him and Aradia both went with Calliope into meet. But yes, out of candy, but probably not in meat yet. I mean, we don't know how the fuck those fucking time rip hole things work. However the fuck they described it. But yes, that was the other point of contention. Was like, how did they hide a child for this long? Like, that poor child must have been so isolated. And like, yeah, that's the thing. How did they hide the child for this long? How did they go about that? We don't really know. Like, and yeah, that cannot have been good for the child's development. Although there's some kind of tongue-in-cheek comments about it in the bonus chapter as well, which I will just read a very small quote. Because the bonus chapter for this month is a conversation between Meet Dirk and Andrew Hussey, so it's quite an interesting one. Jade is an expert on being isolated. Oh, I know, it fucking hurts, right? But, so someone asked, so Dirk asked, where does she live? How did Jade and Rose hide her for 15 years? Oh, she was at boarding school. Boarding school. Yes, Dirk. Boarding school. What boarding school? Miss Paint's Home for Inconvenient Girls. You made that up. I made you up. Fine, whatever. Don't tell me. But would Jade honestly hide her own daughter from the rest of her friends? I don't know. Would Jane fuck a clown? Would Carcap become a blatant Metal Gear Solid reference? So, that's kind of the basic IBM keyboard, and Dirk has like the RBG gamer keyboard. Yeah, it's fucking good. But that kind of I guess informs you of the kind of attitude that they're approaching this one. They would need to find the alpha session and enter meet that way, or do the ultimate thing to warp directly to meet Dave, like how old Dirk did in Pester Quest. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we don't really know exactly how they're going about that right now, but hopefully we'll get a little bit more of a peek into those logistics. Jade Gamzee thing? I'm not sure which thing that would be. Or which event you'd be referring to with that. Oh, Jane, not Jade. Yeah, Candy Timeline did some stuff. Honestly, I don't think I can explain it either. It happened. You're drawing and you got distracted. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, so that's the humdinger of an update that we got for our second April update. Now, with the beginning of the month of May, holy shit, it's May, how did that happen? It is time to wait patiently for whatever may be coming next. Since this chapter was split into parts, it may or may not be another part of this chapter, but my feeling is that we will be starting another new chapter, chapter 9, with the next update. Crocker brainwashing means that she held Purple Bloods in higher regard, like how ICP was the president under HIC. That's true. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective, but that is a very plausible theory that it had something to do with all that Crocker tech. But yes, with that, we bring this evening to a close. This is, I think, aside from the first update, I think this is the longest we've ever spent on a single Homestuck Squared update. Almost an hour overtime, but you know what? It's all good. It's all worth it. When I do these things, my goal is to explore them very thoroughly And I think we accomplished that. Another thing was, what was that thing about the clans that Aisha said on Twitter? Oh, I don't know. Aisha has said many things on Twitter. A number of them have been also about clans, so I'm not sure. I don't keep a super close eye on that. I follow her on Twitter, but I don't keep too close an eye on that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm not sure which you would be referring to. Something like the Gamzee cult? Gamzee cult of something? Oh, did she, like, give a name to the religion that Gamzee starts on Earthsea? But yeah, that is another thing that's kind of, like, completely baffling about Candy Timelines, the whole, like, cult of Gamzee. Oh, something about ICP. Oh, Juggalos. Something about Juggalos? Probably something. Yeah, that I'm not. Yeah, I guess probably something about that. They like to do that. But yeah. Okay, let's see. Next stream. Okay, next stream is going to be Homestuck reread. So we're going all the way back, rewinding way back to Act 4 from this fresh new content. We're going all the way back to Act 4. And for bonus stream, I got that poll. Gonna post that one more time. We're voting on the next bonus stream game because we just finished Secret Little Haven. The final part of that will be up on YouTube soon, as will the Q&A with Vernon, which I did on Sunday, which has been uploaded forever, and I need to finish the fucking thumbnail. I have been very unproductive the last few days. It's just been a blah kind of week, you know what I mean? But I am going to fucking get my shit together and, like, work on a bunch of that stuff right now, before I sleep tonight. So that stuff will be up soon. Indeed. And the poll for the next bonus stream game, we're voting between Butterfly Soup and Her Tears Were My Light. Both of them are hosted on itch.io. If you are interested in finding out more, would appreciate your feedback and your votes to decide which one we'll play first. We will play both of them eventually. I will stream both of them eventually. This is just deciding which one goes first. The one that does not go first, I will stream afterwards. So, okie dokie. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. I duly appreciate the feedback and conversation. It was good talks today. I hope that you will be able to join me all for future streams as well. Are gonna keep doing Homestuck Squared updates. Are gonna, doing rereading Homestuck, doing all kinds of other fun visual novel games for bonus streams. And yeah, thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. Fingers crossed, I'll be seeing y'all right back here. We shall hang out again, discuss again, and good night.